Hey friends, Kristy Glass here to announce book club for the summer 2018. Now, last year we did Knit for Health and Wellness by Betsan Corkill, and we had a great time. I did some Insta stories around some of the chapters I was reading, and we did a few videos, including interviewing the author. This year I don't think it's going to be as epic, but if you are a reader and you like to geek out on crafting and history, you may appreciate the few episodes that I will throw up here. Today is the introduction, and then I will also be having a few discussions with those who are reading the book in case that interests you. Today I'm also going to give you a few recommendations of my own for summer reading and knitting so that you can get your audiobook game on as you knit. So first off, to kick off the book club, I just wanted to show you the pick for this year, which is Craft by Alexander Langlands. This is a history book, so if you're not into history and if you're not into words, this may not be for you. And I'm not sure how mainstream this pick is actually, but I do have a few special people that I want to discuss the book with on the channel, and I think that you will enjoy the discussions that we have. So this is Craft, an inquiry into the origins and true meaning of traditional crafts. I do believe it has sort of a European UK spin to it, but hopefully it will be really interesting to you if you are a fan of history. So don't go to the craft section, go to the history section, and I will put in a plug for local bookshops. Go to your local bookshop and buy it. Don't buy it somewhere else so that we can keep the local bookshop alive. I've only read 20 pages so far, so it's a bit of a risk choosing this and announcing it. And if it's a total bust, I'll own it, but I think it could be really fun. So that's our book club selection for this year. And then I wanted to show you one other book that I just read, let's see, up to page, again, 25. But The Curse of the Boyfriend Sweater by Alana Oken looks like a really fun pick as well for us knitters out there, and I think it's lighthearted, and a lot of people want something sort of light and fun and relatable for the summer. This is definitely your pick as opposed to Craft. Craft is like super in-depth and geeky. This is more lighthearted and fun beach summer reading, so I wanted to just put a little plug in for The Curse of the Boyfriend Sweater in case you were looking for an actual book to hold. Now, as for the audiobooks and podcasts, I just wanted to give you a few recommendations of things that I found enjoyable. I happen to be very picky about audiobooks. I really want the performance of the audiobook to be really excellent. I'm also a little bit sensitive to language, so I have listened to some audiobooks that maybe overall I enjoyed, but I didn't appreciate some of the words that were chosen, and I have learned from talking about books on Instastory that books is a very sensitive topic. So I'm just going to give you my opinion and my values, and hopefully you can just take that and be okay. I don't want this to turn into a discussion that is negative or sensitive. It's just, this is what I enjoyed and I'm passing it along to you. First, I want to recommend The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. It is a book by Rachel Joyce. It is narrated by Jim Broadbent, who you've seen in many a film. He is in the Paddington films, one or two of the Harry Potter films, just a ton of stuff. You've seen him a ton, and so he's really good at this particular job. So The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. I don't want to give it away. I really don't like spoilers, but he goes on this little journey because of a letter, and it was just really, lovely, and I wanted to know what was happening next. And it wasn't a thriller or a mystery by any means, but it had a lovely message at the end. So I want to recommend that one as an audiobook. I also really enjoy listening to Orange is the New Black. It is a book by Piper Kerman. I don't know why I originally decided to listen to it. I guess I was just curious, and I ended up listening to the whole thing and really enjoying it. And there's even some fiber arts in Orange is the New Black, and I liked the narrator of that as well. I don't know how similar it is to the Netflix series. I think it started on HBO, but now it's on Netflix. I don't know what the similarities are, but I imagine there's a lot you could run with women in prison, and I'm not going to watch the show, but I did really enjoy the audiobook quite a bit. Another audiobook that I loved is Girl on the Train. It is a novel by Paula Hawkins, and it turned into a film, which I haven't seen because I loved the audiobook so much. I don't want to ruin it by watching the film, but what I loved about the audiobook is they have 3 different narrators, because there are 3 different women in, but there might even been a 4th narrator, but Oh no, it just says 3. There are 3 narrators in it, and I really liked the different voices and how they interpreted the writing, and I really enjoyed listening to that audiobook as entertainment. I also listened to Clara Parks reading The Yarn Whisperer, and I imagine that all of her audiobooks are really well done. She's not only a great writer, but she's a wonderful performer, and I really felt like she was sitting there telling me my stories, and I even mentioned it on Instagram or something and said, thank you for helping me get through my spring cleaning, and I really loved The Yarn Whisperer. I got to know Clara Parks a lot better listening to her tell me that story, her stories, her memoirs. Finally, I just wanted to mention a few podcasts that I like. I really enjoy Criminal. So Phoebe Judge, she puts on 20 to 30 minute podcasts about true crime, but it's really diverse. So she'll go to like a body farm and talk about what that's about. She interviewed the mystery reviewer of the New York Times. She'll talk about cold cases or very like way back in history cases, and it's really well done, really sophisticated, and I learned a lot from her and find it really interesting what she's interested in bringing to us. So Criminal is one of my favorite ones, and you can go back and start. It's not chronological, so you can really listen to anyone at any time, but I started from the beginning and listened through, and I really enjoy that. I also like Harry Potter and the Sacred Text. I know a lot of us knitters love Harry Potter, and Harry Potter and the Sacred Text is 2 people. I think they're both in a religious capacity, they happen to be, but they're also really into English, like literature and like an English class, and they're reading Harry Potter 1 chapter at a time. So after every chapter they do a podcast. I don't know where they are in real time. I feel like maybe book 4 or 5. So if you want to like listen to the Harry Potter audiobook or actually read it over again and then listen to their podcast in conjunction with that, I think it could be really fun. It's called The Sacred Text because they treat it as a sacred text. So people who read scripture, they analyze it in all different ways, and so they use different techniques to analyze the Harry Potter text, and it's really fascinating and fun, and one of the guys has an English accent, which is always a bonus. Finally, I'm a huge This American Life fan. I have been from the beginning. The app has every single episode. It's been maybe 10, 13 years, and they're all an hour long, and the topics and the format is really pleasurable and interesting and diverse, and I love This American Life. So I just have to pass along that app. They also have a few spin-offs, like maybe you've heard of Serial, which I guess is the #1 podcast of all time. And Serial I enjoyed listening to as well, but in general I just really love This American Life. So I just wanted to give you a little roundup on what you could add to your audio listening while you knit and do your summer things. And I hope you'll join in, or at least watch the episodes when we talk about our summer book club pick, Craft. And I just hope you enjoy all of your summer adventures and your summer knitting and crocheting and fiber arts, and I will be here right along with you, knitting and listening my way through summer as well. And I'll see you next time. I'm Kristy Glass. Bye.